Hello and welcome to the Hidden Tracks podcast. My name's Shane Murphy, your host as always. Today, I'm delighted to have a gentleman who is in a new band that I feel everyone needs to go and check out. They have kind of crossed a barrier of where sometimes I feel that the word emo, when it comes to music, gets a really bad name. Whereas I just think it's amazing music. Uh, it's rock and roll. It just has a different name. We can call it alternative. We can call it what we want. But today, I'm lucky to have Joseph Rodriguez, the vocalist and guitarist of the band Love Again, out of San Antonio, Texas. So, Joseph, thank you so much for being here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's a pretty nice Sunday out right now. I'm actually outside. It's beautiful today here in Texas, so which is kind of odd for this time of the year.
It's usually hot as balls there, huh?
Dude, yeah, it can be, man. It's either like we get the fall or we don't sometimes. And then the past couple of weeks have been super nice, man. It's awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, especially what happens in Texas. You got you
dude.
get tornadoes, hurricanes, heat, fire. I mean, it's a blazing world there.
We
Sometimes
get kind of lucky where we're at. Like the hurricanes, they don't really do too much damage in this area in South Texas. So, I mean, kind of like near the ocean, it does, but we get lucky though.
So, how? My first question is going to be: how did you guys come about? How did Love Again all you guys get together and come about? Where did this all start from?
That is a long story. So back in 2011, me and one of my best friends from high school, we had kind of like stopped trying to do music at that point. I mean, we were really young. It's kind of stupid to say. We were like 22 or something. And we had tried to get our whole band going and nothing was happening. And I just like said, I'm just going to done doing bands. And I actually became a music major for a good minute. I didn't get to finish it, unfortunately, but I did that because I still wanted to do music. And then at the time, the band, The Story So Far, they released their album Under Soil and Dirt, and I heard it. And I had really kind of even stopped seeking out that kind of music. But I heard it and I was like, oh man, this is dope. I want to do this again. And my friend Tom felt the same way. So we started writing Pop Punk together. And we were looking for a drummer. And a few years before that, when we started college, he had a class with this guy that someone told him, hey, this guy's a drummer. You should ask him to play. And he asked him and the guy said no. It's just straight up no. At least that's the story that I'm told. And then that guy had just by fate emailed my friend Tom and said, hey, are you still trying to play music? And he was like, yeah, I just started a band and we're looking for a drummer. And he was like, all right, let's meet up. So we met up with him. His name's Alex. He's our drummer now. We maybe played together for about a month or two. That didn't last that long. But me and Alex had kind of made a connection together. We are both into this metalcore band called Misery Signals.
Okay. Yeah, no, they're awesome, man. First album was great. They also a great documentary out there on them that everybody should check out.
I watched that last night.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
it's amazing, right?
It's a very emotional ride.
Very emotional ride.
Yeah.
Very emotional.
It's not the kind of thing that you're like, oh, I want to watch this for fun.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things I always say, listen, if you're down in the dumps and you just listen, turn on Happy Gilmore or something. Don't put that on.
Yeah. That's a good point. But yeah, man. So we kind of connected on that and we kept in touch with each other. And then one day I went to go watch a show and he was like, hey, are you going to go out to this show? And I was like, yeah, man, I'll see you there. And this is going to sound kind of funny, but I was really obsessed with Sublime at the time.
Okay.
So I started doing a reggae band with one of my friends from music school. And I told Alex about it and he was like, well, I actually play bass too. And I was like, cool, well, let's get together and we'll do this. And we did that like that whole summer. And during that time, he was showing me some music he was working on, which was kind of like post-hardcore, kind of like in the vein of Inamorata.
Okay, yeah, that another great band.
Yeah, and except for one character.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'd never heard him. And he was like, well, check him out. And I listened to him, and I got really into it, and it made me like kind of find my love of Misery Signals again, and writing guitar like that. And I was like, hey man, well, let me be a part of this too, because I would love to do it. And he was like, all right. So we kind of ditched the reggae thing and we started going with that. and we wrote music together for about a whole year. And we started our old band, Inamorata, and we moved up here to San Antonio, Texas, and got that going. And it lasted for about 7 years or so, and we had our problems here and there throughout the years. And I'd always wanted to do the type of music that Love Again's doing, so I was kind of writing on the side. And at one point, the band had broken up, and me and Alex decided we would try to do this thing. And we started to do it, and I kind of got cold feet because I never I had been a frontman in a metal band, which is a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different attitude.
Yeah, it's a whole different attitude, whole different vibe. So I was kind of like, I had cold feet, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try to do the old band again, which we did, and that lasted for a while. And in the middle of that, I started just recording demos of Love Again stuff because I still wanted to do it, and I was like, I'll just do it as a side project type thing. And then once the band kind of officially stopped, I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and dive deep into this. And I was just going to do it, like I said, a solo thing and have other people come play all the instruments. And then when we went to go record the first two songs, 86 and The Best I Could, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just turn this into an actual band? So,
yeah, well, that's awesome. And for people out there that don't understand, and I want to be able to help people and be motivational when I say this is, if you think you want to do something, just do it, because one day you may not be able to.
yeah,
So if you have that thought in your head that you want to just start laying down stuff and you want to do it, I'm just telling people, go out there and do it. Because honestly, if you didn't do that, you and I wouldn't be sitting here talking to each other.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. There's always that what if, and that's always what keeps you, from doing stuff, man. And
Yes.
I'm a big overthinker, which is, one of my biggest problems. So I'm glad that I put that foot forward and got going with it.
I'm glad you did too. I'm an overthinker as well. It took me a while to do this. I've been saying I was going to do it for a long time, and I've been wanting to do it to be able to get bands like you heard from a lot of people around the world. And it took a little bit of me just saying, what the fuck? What am I doing? I mean,
Yeah,
just do it, man. I love it. I love talking to people. I enjoy music. So why am I so worried about it? So it's that thing, just, living your life without regret. And, I wake up every day now in my life and I say, listen, if today is my last day, I don't have any regrets. I've done everything that I've wanted to do. So it's kind of that little thing to try to get you to stop overthinking, because once you do, everything becomes more complicated in life.
definitely, man. And I'm really I'm an optimistic guy. I try to be as realist as I can, but I'm still really optimistic, and I can be overzealous. So once I, want to go 100% on something, I'm there, man. But yeah, we recorded those songs, and we had another guitar player at the time, actually. And he kind of dipped on us. And Alex was like, well, I could play bass, and I know another drummer. And I was like, all right. So we met up with this guy, and we started jamming out, and we recorded that 86 video, because you'll see Alex playing bass in that video. There's another drummer, and then that drummer was kind of more into it just to have a good time. Which isn't bad, obviously. You're doing this because you love it and you want to have a good time. But, I mean, it's kind of hard to make a career out of this at this point in this time, in this day and age,
Oh, yeah.
But we're still kind of chasing it, and I don't mind chasing it. I still have, other things that I'm trying to do to, live life as far as, career is concerned. But I still want to do this. So
I fully support you in doing this.
Thank you. I'm glad you do, man. I'm glad you're having me here. So Alex went back to drums, and we got our bass player, Gibby, in with us. We had actually tried to get him beforehand, and he was in another band. He kept saying no, and then we kind of just kept pushing him, and he was like, all right, I'll do it.
Persistence.
Yeah, persistence is key. But yeah, that
so that's a wild ride to where you are right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of my big questions that I like to ask is, so this is where the band is now, and for me, there's a point in your life where something changed and music became something different, and it's usually in your childhood. when things go change from Sesame Street and cartoon theme songs to actual music. Do you remember that point in your life where you're a kid and you heard something completely different than, just the regular stuff that you were watching on TV and just said, "Wow, what's
Yeah.
this? What is it?" Do you remember when it was and what it was, or?
Oh, I definitely do, man. So when I was younger, like music wasn't like the biggest thing in the house. Like my parents aren't, musically talented or anything. My dad's a good singer. That's one thing that I remember for sure. Like always being in the car with them, like my dad would be singing, and he has a great voice. It wasn't until I was like 19 or 20, like after I've been playing music for a minute, where he was like, "Yeah, I used to sing in a group, and we would play gigs every other weekend." And I was like, "Wait, what? I'm sorry." And so I guess I kind of got that from him a little bit. My sister's also a really great singer as well. Um, but yeah, um, I always kind of looked up to both of my older brothers, and I had one of them living in the house when I was still a kid, and he would always listen to rap.
Uh huh.
So when I got a little bit older, I started listening to rap myself, and I remember the only CD I remember having was the Marshall Mathers LP,
Yeah.
Eminem, the first record, I guess.
Yeah. It was the Marshall Mathers was his second, but it was
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Slim Shady was
That
the
was like
first.
when he like
When he
blew up,
went,
right?
so he blew up with Slim Shady, which was the first record. The second one, Marshall Mathers, is when he started the basically blew up even bigger because he started controversy because of all the songs, because
Yeah,
they were amazing and people didn't know how to understand his truth and his honesty that he was putting out there. And but that record's insane.
that's very true, man. Yeah, I remember going to I think it was, man, what was it called? Sam Goody. Yeah, that's the place.
Yes, Sam Goody, man.
We had a
I've name dropped that a couple times. R.I.P. Sam Goody. But
right, yeah, we had a Sam Goody. I'm from a very small town, so it's really hard to like
find stuff.
know anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I went there with my mom, and I don't know how I was able to get her to buy me that. I'm sure if
I don't
she,
know how either.
I'm
Wow,
sure, I'm
congratulations.
sure if she knew what was on there, she wouldn't have wanted me to have that, man. But I had it, and from there I got into Dr. Dre, and that's when the Chronic 2 it just came out, and
Hmm.
I went to Best Buy with my cousin and her older sister, and my cousin had picked out a CD, and I got the Chronic 2, and we went up to go pay, and my cousin's sister looked at the CD and she said, "No, there is no way you are going to buy this CD that has a pot leaf on it and take that home to your parents. You need to just get what your cousin got, and let's get out of here." So I went back and I was all pissy, and I grabbed what my cousin had got, and that happened to be Enema of the State.
Uh huh.
And I was hooked from there, man. And I was just really obsessed with it. I was like, I've never heard anything like this before. This is awesome. I love this. I want to do this, you know. And my sister lived across the hallway from me. She was way older than I was, so like me and my cousin would go in there and like look at all of her stuff, just being snot nosed little kids. And I would sit there one day by myself, and I was looking through all of her CDs, and I found Nimrod by Green Day in there. And I didn't even know who Green Day was or what it was. I just remember seeing the album cover and being like, "This looks like something I'd like." And I put it on, and I was just like, "Wow, this is awesome, man." So that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, that's. I mean, let's be honest. That's a crazy like turn of events. I mean, when you're looking to get Dr. Dre's, Chronic 2, and then you go to get Blink 182's Enema of the State. I mean, that's a huge difference in music, and
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
big jump. And listen, I jump around like that as well. Well, jump around, nod to House of Pain. But when we when we go like that's just a huge area to jump from in music, and then Green Day as well, and I mean Enema of the State and Nimrod is when I can probably say that those two bands kind of got more serious into writing music and not writing as much like funny stuff, I guess, to shock people to have weird videos and everything. They started writing honest, serious music. So
Right.
you got into those bands at like when they were basically becoming serious musicians at the time, which is pretty crazy too, and awesome at the same time. So like you get Marshall Mathers where he's now serious and doing it. So you got like really serious stuff to get into right away.
Oh, definitely, man. I've been really obsessed with Neighborhoods lately. When it first came
Yeah.
out back in, I think it was 2011, maybe when it came out.
Yeah. I
I
think it
was I
was.
was still kind of, I was still young, so I was still at that point where I was like, well, this is good, but it's not Blink 182, all that crap.
Yeah.
And then I've been listening to it recently, and in my opinion, I think that's the best record they put out because I know that they're not emo per se, but
Yeah.
that's a very emo record.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I that you bring it up, and I hope you can take this as a huge compliment. When I hear the best I could, it kind of puts me to that like almost Angels and Airways, which
Oh, really?
is
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, like that the Angels and Airways, which is Tom DeLonge's other band that he started out of Blink 182, and it has that awesome like vibe and that rock behind it, but it's also smart,
Yeah,
and it takes you down a different road, and I now I can see where that comes from,
yeah. I
like
actually
that.
got the name from Angels and Airwaves song.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Good. So I'm not. You'll take it as a compliment.
yeah,
Good.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome, man. So you that big leap, and so if you were about that age when you got it, so you're in high school or
No, I was 11, I think, or 12.
oh oh wow. So
Yeah.
you got some that's an awesome integration. So we talked prior to hitting record on this about a couple things, but like I mean your metalcore, how did that start?
One of my other older brother. That's definitely where it came from. He would always like invite me to come live with him during the summer. He lives in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And my town is I don't know if you ever heard of Corpus Christi, Texas.
I have. I was in the military, and my old roommate Eric Montalago, shout out to him, was from Corpus Christi.
Okay, yeah, I lived there right after high school, but my town is about an hour south of that. So I would go stay with them because I mean, who doesn't want to spend their summer in Austin, you know?
Yeah.
And I was always like, I had always these obscure, pop punk compilations. I
Hmm.
remember buying a Lagwagon CD
Oh, they're
somewhere
awesome. Yeah.
and him like trying to get him to listen to Lagwagon with me, and he was just like, and like he just started showing me all the metal stuff he was into. I can't really remember exactly what he would show me. I remember listening to Queensryche with him.
Okay.
So I only had like one Queensryche CD, but I mean they're a great band, obviously. And I was into. He just showed me some like new metal type stuff. There was a band called Un Loco that was from Austin. They weren't too big. They were on Ozfest once, but they kind of like fizzled out pretty quickly. But I was really into that. And then he showed me Il Nino,
Hmm.
which is another like Latin metalcore, but no more like new metal band. So that I kind of
Yeah,
got into it
I've
there.
heard them before. Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's kind of just I was just kind of into that for a little bit. Then got back into like emo and pop punk. And then I guess in high school, one of my best friends was, getting into like that kind of stuff, and that's where I started listening to As I Lay Dying, Kill Switch, and then I wish going to the record store. I mean, you could still go to a record store, but you're gonna go there to buy vinyl or something. You're not gonna really go there to look at stuff and see, oh, what can I like? What's gonna be cool. But I found a Ferret Records compilation, and the year Summer Ended in June was on that. And when I heard that, I was like, I've never heard anything like this. Whatever this is, I need this now. So I bought that, and I just became obsessed at that point.
Yeah, you're all in at that point on something like that. I frequent record stores because I still love that deep dive of looking for stuff. Also, I tell you, like I go on Bandcamp and go through a deep dive and constantly try to find new music. But yeah, that record store whole just going in there and trying to find stuff. I talk about it a lot on this show about just remember going into the store and not knowing what you're looking for and seeing something really cool and buying it and either loving it or hating it.
Mhm.
Um, and I've made the mistake many times when I hated something that I just like either threw it in the garbage, which is makes me the biggest asshole to throw away someone's hard work that they did.
Yeah, I
So I had
remember.
to.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
I just remember this one time. My old metalcore band. We came up to San Antonio to play a show. We were like passing out CDs, like you do back in the day. And I remember
yeah.
some guy stomping on it, and me just being like really upset. Like I was like, I basically told my friend like, turn the car around, turn the car around.
Yeah,
He
well,
was
because that's your hard work. Like you're proud of it. Like when you lay down a song, like, and that's my thing too nowadays. That songs, like music and songs, are so accessible and so easy to get out there. Everybody has Pro Tools on their computer and thinks they can play a guitar or thinks they're a singer. And then you just start putting out some major shit where I'll have no problem where if I listen to something that is straight up dog shit and you can tell the guy doesn't care about music, I'll tell him to their face, dude, that's fucking garbage.
nice.
Um, but when it comes to like you're playing all your instruments, you're playing guitar, you're playing shows, you're singing, you're doing this. That's hard work, man, and you're laying those down because you're proud of them. And
Definitely
that's
is.
and that's why I say it makes me an asshole when I find something that I would buy a CD.
I mean,
I'd be like,
honesty is always good, man. No matter how shitty it might be to somebody else. Uh,
it's the truth because sometimes honesty will make you better at what you're doing too.
oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I still get nervous, man. I mean, obviously we haven't even played a show yet,
Yeah,
but we did some live video the other day. So hopefully we'll have that out pretty soon. We just did the two singles. But yeah, I was super nervous to do that because I had never. I mean, like I said, I've done metalcore singing, but that's nothing. You're just holding a mic and you're saying "What the fuck is up" 10 times,
yeah,
and you're screaming, and that's it. But
yeah.
having a guitar in your hand and playing and singing, it's a whole different beast. But it wasn't too bad, man. Like I had a good time doing it.
That's awesome, though. I mean, it's that fear, I guess, that fear that you have, and once you push through it and you break that wall of fear and you step through to the other side, is where magic's going to happen. And that's what I think. What your first two singles, I think your magic happened. I think you probably got over that fear a little bit because your voice is amazing.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much. That's
The
the biggest compliment that.
I listen. I love it. I sent it right to my friends right away as soon as I heard it. Like first thing I do is I download it and then I share. I'm like, check these guys out, and everybody's like, wow, this is awesome. They're like, the guy's voice is amazing. I'm like, right.
Oh
And
yeah,
I think that's where music happens and hits people too. Like I try to sit back and when you listen to bands, you hear people's voice, and that's usually what gets you
oh
is the
yeah,
person's voice because it's usually something that's a little different. Like there's a lot of bands out there that sound exactly the same that is really hard for me to just like be like, dude, this sounds exactly to a T. It's almost like they're copying them, even though they're not. It just like
yeah.
sounds so close to exactly what I thought it was, and it's like,
And it just might be
but
too much.
yeah,
Like
and
I was listening to my old band stuff yesterday in the car, and right when it stopped, it went to another song. Because I use Spotify, so like it just takes you to something else that's
yeah,
kind of similar.
hmm
And it just started playing the song, and I was like, "Oh, this is Dance Gavin Dance." And I looked at it, and it was just some other band, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll just listen to something else." Because
yeah, exactly, and that happens a lot. And I mean, it's by listen, it could be their favorite band, and they're trying to emulate them and want to be like them, but sometimes it's that originality. We talk about it a lot on the show is that originality, that overproduction too of stuff where it's just like, no, you need to do this, you need to sound like this, where it's when you're taking away someone's originality, they're no longer an artist, they're a robot.
definitely, I think I hope people like our EP. It's
I'm
I was
excited, man. November, right? And we're coming out in
yeah,
November.
November. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that first single, I think it's much along the lines of what we've done, with the second single.
Hmm.
It's definitely a lot more emo, I think. But there definitely is a couple of songs on there that are just a little bit different. So hopefully people are into it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do my part to get people into it. I'll tell you that much.
Awesome, man.
So you jumping around from so much stuff. I mean, this is probably going to have to be a crazy question for me to ask, and it's a crazy question for me to ask myself a lot of times too. But like out of all that different stuff that you listen to, what do you constantly go back to that's just like your favorite stuff that you can't get enough of?
Um, Definitely Misery Signals. There's no secret there.
Hmm.
Um, man, I really just got into the Dangerous Summer recently.
Dude, they're unbelievable. I took my wife to see him a couple years ago.
Oh, that's
They
sick.
are, dude. Their first, I found them when their first EP hit, and I was like, I don't know what's going on right now. I'm like, but these guys are amazing. And again, different lead singer voice, like his voice is just captivating.
Yeah, that's where I've always kind of had this thing where I don't know what my voice was, you know.
Hmm.
And I've always kind of like try to like emulate different people, and it's like that's okay, but it's not you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And once I heard that band, and there's another band called the American Scene. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
ever heard of them. They're kind of that guy kind of has that same voice, and I was like, well, shit, that's kind of what my voice is, you know.
Yeah.
So I really love that band because of that, you know, because now I know what my singing voice is, and I don't have to try too hard to find it. It's just me. But yeah, that man, and obviously, you know, the Get Up Kids.
Yeah.
I always go back to Something to Write Home About. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that CD.
4 Minute Mile was my introduction to them,
Yeah.
and like because I'm older, but I so the last live show that I saw was actually the Get Up Kids. It was the Get Up Kids and Dashboard Confessional in New York
Oh
City.
shit. That's
Right when and everything was shut down the very next day. They shut the world down the very next day. So I and if you look on our website, one of the pictures is I have the set list on the soundboard of the Get Up Kids, so you can see the set list on there. But yeah, the dude, they're awesome, and a lot of stuff too. Like if so, Get Up Kids. I don't know if you followed like stuff that they branched off. Matt Pryor's done a lot of stuff. He's just one of those guys that just constantly writes songs.
yeah. I was
So
into
like,
the solo stuff at one point for a good minute.
the New Amsterdams he did, but there was also it's called the Blacklight Pools. Check that out if you haven't heard it.
No, I
It's
have not heard that.
yeah, that's it. It was like it was a one off, and it's awesome. So if you like the Get Up Kids, it's kind of Get Up Kids esque, but yeah, Blacklight Pools. You can tell some of that stuff that you listen to comes through in your music, which is awesome. It's along the same tone, but it's nothing like it. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
has that
definitely.
tone. So I also want to know, like, since you have that diverse type of music, and you look at something, and you've mentioned some bands like Green Day and Enema of the State and from Blink 182, and one of the things that I look at is there's a lot of bands out there that sometimes I think just get a little overrated because of the radio play of the songs they have, but nowadays people can just download one song, which to me is kind of like a disservice to all the other artistry
Oh
that
yeah.
people do. And then it's extremely no one hears it and extremely underrated. Do you have anything like in your collection that you're like, wow, this song was huge, but all the rest of the songs on the album are just absolutely amazing, which people probably don't even know about?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I don't even know where to go with that.
I usually use like I my first initial when I came up with this question, and because I thought about it a lot, it was I always went to Third Eye Blind because all their stuff that was on the radio was I was like, yeah, it's good, but that's what people gravitated towards. But all their stuff that was never on the radio, like their first album, the songs that weren't on the radio off that first album are 100 times better than the songs that made it.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't even think right now. Such a good question. Oh dear God.
Good, we'll come back to that one then at some point. Um, do you have anything that you're scared that people would find out that you listen to? Not, and I don't want to say scared, maybe a little embarrassed. We call them guilty pleasures. There's a lot of times where I just say I'm at the age now where I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Here's Taylor Swift and Bon Iver's new song. Listen to it. It's amazing. But some point in your life, you felt a little guilty if someone got in your car and something just came randomly on your playlist.
I don't know. I think I've kind of gotten past that point in my life.
Good,
Yeah.
good. So you're not going to throw out like anything crazy, Miley Cyrus or something?
Oh no, I definitely don't listen to Miley Cyrus.
Even though I give it up. Listen, I always say when there's a good song, I have to give people credit. Miley Cyrus, "Wrecking Ball." I mean, it was just an amazing song. So
It's actually,
I
yeah,
got it.
that's actually a good song. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
it's that song. That song is incredible. So this is one of those things that it's really hard for people to try and get to and understand. But there's sometimes in your life where things aren't going well or things are going great, and sometimes you need a reality check. I call it mood control music. Do you have anything like late at night that you like to listen to, maybe to calm you down, or do you have something early in the morning that you like to listen to that wakes you up?
No, yeah, I actually had this happen last week. I was having kind of a bad day, and I came and sat outside for a little bit, and I just turned on American Football's first LP,
Oh, wow.
and it really did calm me down a lot.
That's awesome.
It's such a good album. It's so soothing and relaxing. It's
Yeah.
very sad, but it's still it's still really calming.
Kinsella's he's got a lot going on.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really calmed me down a lot, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, just even mentioning that name, and they had a new album last year came out, which was awesome to see, and I love seeing all these new, like all the older bands from the early 2000s, older I'm saying, but the first wave that was there for emo is like all these guys coming back, and they're writing more mature music because they've matured and have a lot more stuff going on. But it's just incredible to see that stuff too. Like American Footballs from their first album to what they recently put out is just it's almost like I felt like I grew up with them.
Yeah,
Y-
yeah, man. Those last two albums were really good. But yeah, that first record it just hits in a different way.
Yeah, it's so, and that's amazing that like when you're feeling down, you put on something it's very deep and it's a little down too. But so do you feel like Kinsella was like writing and singing to you at that time through that, like, and then kind of gets you back up and being like, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah, definitely, man. I've been thinking about this for a while, past few weeks, and I'm like, well, yeah, I love emo music a lot, but I don't want to relate to it that much. You know what I mean?
I don't want to have to deal with those feelings all the time and it be so personal because it is exactly what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. I think it's funny, man. But it's not a bad thing. It's good to have something that you can connect with and know that you're not alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes I also listen to like I don't know if you know what Tejano music is.
I don't, and I want to know.
It's like I don't know if it's just a South Texas thing or it might be something in Southern California too. But it's basically Mexican country
Okay.
and it has like a polka influence because there's a lot of accordion as well.
Okay.
There's no lead guitar. The lead is the accordion. So I listen to that sometimes because it takes me back to my childhood because I listen to that a lot. My parents because our town is it's just a lot of Mexican American community.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that so I guess maybe that might be a thing where like if I'm in my car, I do Lyft sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and I'll be listening to it sometimes like by myself before I pick people up, and if someone gets in, I might be kind of embarrassed by that,
Oh,
but
uh,
it's good music though.
yeah, no, and that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I'm now when we're done with this today, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna find something, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it. I there's only like one type of music that I've tried really hard that I can't get into, and that's like the new country stuff, which is
Yeah, it's
just
pretty terrible
yeah, it's
to say.
it's just it's just weird to me. Like I don't understand it. Like I'm like even if I hear a song, I'm like that guy's not really singing, and then you see him like do an award show and him sing live or something. I'm like, yeah, see, dude can't sing. Like
Yeah, I'm not too into country, man, but people dog on country a lot. But I mean, there's some really good country stuff out there.
there is some really good country stuff out there, and that's like my thing where it's like a lot of the new country stuff. Like there's huge artists out there that I'm like, yeah, they're I don't I don't understand it. Like I don't get it. And maybe shame on me, but then like so last night I actually watched they had a Farm Aid on, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not going to be into everybody that's on Farm Aid, but Brandy Carlisle came on. And she's sitting in her backyard on a tree stump with her guitar and her two bandmates. And then she sang a song by herself to her daughter with just an acoustic guitar live. And I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, I cannot believe this isn't the person who is the biggest star when it comes to that stuff, singer, songwriter slash country that's out there. But yet you got people like Luke Bryant who are judging people on American Idol if they can sing or not. And to me, I don't think he can really sing all that well.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, now that we're done bashing on that, can't wait for the hate mail for my Luke Bryant comments, but I stand by what I say. Do you have anything besides yourself, new music wise, like new bands that are out there that you recently got into? I also have to. I want to put this out there for anybody listening. Love Again was signed to Wiretap Records, which is really awesome considering you have two singles out and
Yeah.
they're putting out your EP. It's pretty awesome.
Um, not too recently, man. Like I said, like I'm kind of weird. Like I just get stuck on stuff that I'm already into.
Yeah,
I have a problem doing with that. I wish I didn't. I wish I took time to find new bands. I probably should. But the new Into It Over it's coming out soon, and I'm pretty excited about that. That's one band that really got me pushing to want to do this project because I really got obsessed with that guy's music and all the bands that he does. You know, he has that band with Kinsella, that there.
yeah, that's awesome, man. I love everything. Into It Over, it's great. There is awesome too. People need to check that out.
I wish they did, man. That is an amazing band. That EP is flawless in my opinion.
I ordered a bunch of tapes because that came out on polyvinyl, and I ordered a bunch of tapes and just started handing them to people. I'm like, guys, put this on, put
Yeah,
this on.
but yeah, I wish I took the time to find new bands. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's
Well, that's why I'm doing this too, is because I want to get new bands out there, and I want to get all that undiscovered music that I really think deserves a chance. Like I'm only talking to people really that, and I'm doing this. I'm talking to my friends too because this is where it all started, where we just sit around and talk for hours about music, and I want to talk to bands that I know are trying and are new and sound fantastic, and I don't want bands to go and fall by the wayside, and I don't
oh
want
yeah,
people to give up.
oh yeah, definitely. And I think if no one's ever heard Into It Over it and they like emo, I think they would love it. You know,
Yeah,
straight up.
and like, and same thing with you guys, man. Like your first two singles, and we got a new single coming out on October 2nd, which is I'm stoked for.
Thank you.
And I mean,
Glad I got to
it's
send you that video. I kind of thought about it. I was like, wait a minute,
yeah,
I should probably send this dude this video so he can check it out.
yeah. So for people listening, I've heard it and I've seen the new video prior to anyone else, so I'm pretty excited about that too. But I don't want you to give up, man. I don't want you to get to that point where, you know, how you said you gave up for on music for a little bit. I don't want you to do that. You're
Oh, thank you.
talented.
Oh, thank you,
You,
man. Yeah, I'm not giving up at this point. It's too late for that.
yeah,
I'm
good.
about to turn 32, so I'm not stopping at this point.
Yeah, and even if you have songs that you've written that aren't Love Again songs, just still put them down, man. Just still
Definitely.
put them down.
Yeah. Our old band actually just got together for the first time in 3 years the other night.
That's awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So are you looking forward? Like, I mean, how much are you looking forward to playing live shows?
Dude, I can't wait, man, to play live shows. I mean, that was what we first planning on doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we were gonna plan on doing an EP release in November. There's a band called Keep Flying. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're a
I have
pop punk
not.
band. They're actually a really good band. I saw them play live here in San Antonio at
I'll
this one
check it
show I
out.
went to. Um, I think you know they're pretty well known among that pop punk scene.
Hmm.
But our friend puts on shows here, and he asked me, he was like, "Do you want to play your first show in November with these guys?" And I was like, "Well, fuck yeah," because I know there's going to be a lot of people there, so I'm definitely down to do that. And he was like, "All right, well, I'll let you know things should be back to normal by then. And I was like, dope, let's do it. And yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I've been putting out you know, some things that I just want to do, some like backyard shows where we can social distance, everybody just bring a lawn chair, and just so bands can play live again. My buddy, I have a magician buddy who was going to do something for the first time in 6 months, and I was like, dude, why don't you come to my backyard first and knock off the rust before you go to a casino and do it socially
Yeah.
distance. And that's what I'm trying to do with some bands too, is like, hey man, just come, I'll get people here, put a donation cup up in front, whatever we get, but like, let's just try to socially distance. Everybody bring your own chair, your own drinks, we set it up, light a fire, and just play, because I think it's so important too for musicians to play live,
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
man. Like
a
I'm
different
definitely like
feeling.
ready. I'm definitely ready to get back out there, dude. I can't even remember the last time I played live, honestly. Our old band probably played live. Like I said, it's been 3 years, so I want to say that was probably around this time of the year, 2017. And then when I started working on Love Again, I actually did a live acoustic show here in San Antonio one day. There wasn't a lot of people there, but it was a lot of fun. But there's nothing that compares to like playing live. It's a whole nother thing. It's a rush.
Yeah, and I mean that's why you're doing it too. Not only to make music, but to get that rush, that excitement,
Yeah,
that visceral excitement that doesn't come from beer or wine or any kind of
substance.
narcotics. Yeah, that are allowed, that you're allowed to have. We're gonna do that. Um,
Yeah.
it's a real emotion, and those are the best highs, that are real emotions.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, like it can be nerve wracking to go up on stage. There's a lot of like anxiousness before you go up on stage. Like you know, especially when you're in a band, you have to be in load in at a certain time of the day, and you're just waiting for hours, to go on
Yeah.
stage, and you're
Yeah,
just anxious.
you do sound check at 4:30 in the afternoon, and then you don't go on until 10 o'clock at night or something. Like
Yeah,
it's
you're just waiting around, and you're anxious as hell, and you're like nervous, and then but once you get on there, man, it's awesome.
That's awesome, man. Well, I look forward to you guys playing live, and I can't wait till you can come out and start touring and get to see you in my neck of the woods in New York City, or my company is out of Texas. So if you're playing down there when I
So,
travel,
what's your company?
I work for a large concrete manufacturer, personally, but
Oh, nice.
this,
Okay.
yeah, professionally, that's my real job. Um, I, I would love music to be my real job, but you know how
Yeah,
things go. Everybody's
wouldn't
got to
all
make
of us?
money. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I
So
would love to go play in New York, man. We've been trying to do that for years.
yeah, dude, and honestly, there's so many clubs, there's so many places to go to. You and I can keep in touch, and I can, I know a couple people to get in touch with too. If you're ever up in the area and you need a place to play, it would definitely be pretty rad.
Yeah, man, that would be awesome, bro.
So we're coming in on our time, and I don't want to keep you long. This is a weekend that we're recording, and everyone's time is really important. So what I like to do, I like to end every episode with our weekly threes, and I call them our weekly threes. It's just three things that you've listened to recently, and just get out. It can be old, it can be new, it can be something someone's never heard of. Just three things that you've been listening to lately, so I can just put it out there and get other people to listen to what you're listening to.
Cool. Yeah. So, like I said, Neighborhoods by Blink-182. Been listening to that a lot. If people, haven't heard it, or if they had their doubts when they came out, listen to it again. Perfect record, I think. Blink-182 is always written about love songs, but I think those are the best ones.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would say Into It, Over It. I've listened to them a lot this week. Any record from him is amazing. And then the new Misery Signals record, I've been jamming that a lot. I heard it when it first came out. I liked it a lot, and kind of hadn't listened to it until this week again, and it's great.
Awesome. Good threes. I'll give my threes. My threes for this week are Beeswax That's Beeswax with a Z in the middle. They're from Oslo, Norway. They've been around for quite some time, but one of my favorite albums of all time that I just started listening to again. It's called South of Boredom. Anybody out there, check it out. Next is State Radio. They're out of Boston, Massachusetts. They're no longer a band, but they did. There's an amazing record. It's called Rabbit in Rebellion, and it is INN. Great band. Very, I want to say, conscious of the world in their music. It's pretty awesome. And then another band, they're kind of new. They're pretty awesome though. They're called Origami Angel. And the album Somewhere City is what I recommend you start with. They're pretty rad. So we are the Hidden Tracks podcast. We are on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast. If you like what you're listening to, please 5-star review. You can write a review too, please. Like I've said before, even if you write sucks, just make sure it's a 5-star review with sucks on it. Our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail. You can find us at myhiddentracks.com. Twitter is myhiddentracks1. Facebook is just Hidden Tracks, and hiddentracks99 is for Instagram. I'd like to thank my guest, Joseph Rodriguez from Love Again. They have a new single coming out and video on October 2nd. They are currently signed to Wiretap Records, and I'm really excited for what's to come from them in the future. So, Joseph, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, man, and thanks to anybody that's listening. Give the music a listen to. Hopefully, you like it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure they like it. I'm going to shove it down their throats. So, again, everyone, thank you for being here. And as I ended always, go out there and just have a great time. Thanks.